Hey, welcome to the Trash Picture Show. In 1990, the sequel to Bob Van Horen's awesome action movie, Robocop 2, was released. Now, a lot of people didn't like it, a lot of critics had issues with it. They thought it was too dark, too mean-spirited, and a lot of the satire was lost. I have to disagree. I think the movie is the right kind of dark, the right kind of mean-spirited. Like, have they not seen the first fucking movie? Van Horen's 1987 sci-fi action here is dark. It's gritty. It has a guy fucking get run over into porridge in the first movie. It has a vicious amount of violence. The violence in this is still there, but it's cut back. I don't see what the issue was. I think it's an amazing movie, and one of the reasons it was directed by Ivan Kershner. Yes, the man behind one of the best Star Wars movies in the saga, Empire Strikes Back. Orion were under a lot of pressure financially, and they did want the movie kind of rushed out really quick. So Kershner kind of jumped on in a non-union deal. Um, the characterization and the kind of the satire is very much pushed aside for visual effects and action, but it's still a cool movie. You still have Peter Weller giving an awesome performance as Alex Murphy, aka Robocop. His subtle playing on the character, his underplaying of emotion is just perfect. You do get the feeling there is a man underneath this machine. The story takes place a couple of years after the 87 movie, and Robocop is now patrolling a very violent, very volatile streets of Detroit. The police are on strike and the gangs are fueled by a new drug, Nuke. The drug itself was produced by Kane, played amazingly by Tom Noonan. You'd know him from both The Monster Squad and Manhunter. He gives the performance as a very sadistic, very, very vicious killer who almost destroys Robocop halfway through the movie. In an effort to try and sustain Detroit, OCP decide to make a new Robocop, a more aggressive and heavily armed Robocop. But they decide not to use a police officer. They're going to use the brain of Kane. Yes, the main bad guy has his brain put into a vicious, heavily armed cyborg. And it becomes evident that only Robocop can stop him. This movie is wonderful. Its visual effects by Phil Tippett are amazing. The score is cool. Weller's performance is A+. The other characters are kind of really shoved down. The characterization is pushed to the back by a lot of the set pieces, but they're still pretty cool. Anne Lewis, her character played by Nancy Allen, is badass. Her role is definitely cut back a lot more from the original, but she's still up there with the likes of Ellen Ripley and Sarah Connor as one of those cool action badasses. Tom Noonan's performance as Kane is wonderful. He's this unhinged psycho who's got air, a kind of hippie-ish air about him. And when he's transferred into the robot, you still kind of get clicks and ticks of this unhinged psychopath. The script itself, as Orion wanted to kind of push this movie out quickly, they decided to go against the union, and Kershner got Frank Miller, a famous comic book writer, to do the script. Miller himself turns up in a wonderful cameo as a chemist who works with Kane, but the script is pretty awesome. However, Miller did feel it was butchered, and he later went on to do Robocop 3, and that script was also butchered when he was writing it with Fred Decker. But that's mainly more down to, unlike Robocop 1 and 2, 3 was aimed at a younger audience. He did, however, release what he wanted to be the original script in this awesome comic, along with Steve Grant. The book is amazing, and the artwork by Jean Jose Rip is wicked. If you do get a chance, definitely check it out. If you're a Robocop fan, this is one comic you definitely need to check out. When I was a kid, we had the NES. We got it for Christmas, and my parents, God love them, got me Robocop 2. A very awesome, very difficult game. There's a shooting gallery, there's a third person kind of platformer. I never got to Cade because it was like super fucking hard, but if you get a chance, if you can emulate this game, do check it out. It's really fun. I remember seeing Robocop 2 when I was much too young to see it. And I remember one thing that always freaked me the fuck out was when they were operating on Kane and they take his brain out of his body and put it in a jar, and he's just looking at his like lobotomized corpse on a table. That always got to me. Another thing that kind of unnerved me was halfway through the movie, spoilers, Robocop is disassembled and nearly destroyed, and I think it might be Robotine still doing the practical effects, but Robocop's body is just suspended on a gurney with like drips and stuff, and his eyes, he goes into cardiac arrest, and that always freaked me out. But the thing I loved and stuck with me with this movie was the battle at the end. Phil Tippett stop motion, along with kind of the action set pieces of the OCP Tower, is amazing. It is one of the best kind of robot versus robot battles in any movie. As you can tell, I love Robocop 2. I think its complaints are unjust, and while it isn't the cleverest movie, it certainly is a good companion piece to the first movie. And if you get a chance, definitely check it out. So, my name's Martin. This has been the Track Picture Show. Like, subscribe, and yeah, have a good one. Take care. Bye now.